number one, we're going to start with is what they mentioned in the article. Number one, make ads more relevant to keywords.
Yeah, and Chris, I mean, just to put everyone at ease with quality score, it seems like they're actually giving us more and adding columns because I just remembered all the historical
Yeah.
performance, quality score columns, and all that. So, but just to jog my memory here, Chris, because I really don't look at quality score. Expected click-through rate, ad relevance, landing page experience. Those are the three factors of quality
Yes.
score that we at least can see, right?
Yes. Those are
Okay.
the three things that, as far as what they tell us, that's what
Okay.
makes up that number, some number out of 10.
Okay.
And those three factors can either be below average, average, or
Average.
above average. And
And I
that's it.
think because we know like quality score, it's not just like a 9 out of 10. It's like my memory serves, it's like a 9.001010000, bunch of digits. So
Yeah.
there's my guess would be there's different levels of average, there's different levels of above
There's so
average,
many.
different levels
Yeah.
of below average, but you can't see them. That would
Yeah.
be my guess. But when it comes to making your ads more relevant to your keywords, um, ad relevance shows you how relevant your ads are to the keyword. So there's three things you can try, Chris, if you have average or below average. We'll run through them and then we'll take them one by one. So match the language of your ad text more directly to the search term. That's interesting. They say search term instead of keyword
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Look for ad groups with many different keywords that can't easily be addressed by the same ad, and then split those into multiple ad groups that better match user search, and then try grouping your keywords into themes to increase relevance. The themes can be based on your product, services, etc. So, Chris, let's take that one by one. Match the language of your ad text more directly to the user search term. If you're advertising moving company in Dallas, if that's a search, make it clear in the ad that you're a moving company in Dallas. Is that the right way to read that?
Yeah. I mean, I like the way that they specifically word this. They say match the language of your ad text to the user search term. But then on the second one, they go even further and say based on the user's intent or their user's interest, what they're actually looking for, and what we have to talk about here is the level of intent, the meaning behind the search. A search term is not binary. It's not either, matching or not matching. There's a lot of ways that you can interpret 15 different searches and they can mean the same thing. So that doesn't mean that you need to put the exact keyword into your ad text. You need to match the intent of the person. So, just a moment ago, I was before the show, Jason, I was talking about lawyers and stuff like that. And if you're doing a campaign for lawyers and you have someone who's doing a search around bankruptcy, like lawyer bankruptcy, something like that, and one intent would be someone just searching Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Okay, that is a certain intent. That's okay. That's a search. But if you want to match the intent of the person's search to your ad copy, you would go after something closer to hire a lawyer to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy, something like that. That is a different type of intent. I think that's what they're going for here, is not just matching the word, but matching the intent of the user. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. If you have a word like Chapter 7 bankruptcy, the person has not put if you have a search term like that, the person has not put the word lawyer or attorney or law firm in the search term. So they might be looking for an attorney. They might not. Odds are they're probably more looking for information, because if they were looking for an attorney, they'd include that in the search. So maybe better ad copy for that search term to better match the user's searches would be copy about, like, learn about this bad copy, but just learn about Chapter 7 bankruptcy, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, key topics you have to understand. And then they come to the site, and then for the people that want a lawyer, they'll contact you. Versus a search bankruptcy attorney, they're telling you they want an attorney. So the ad copy can be all about how you're an attorney. Now, Chris, what we're doing here is we're taking this one level further than what it says. All it says is multiple ad groups that better match the user searches, add text directly to the user's search term. So I think one mistake I think people make is like, this is my opinion. You make a responsive ad. There's times where copy's not going to make sense, like movers near you, or excuse me, movers near me. That search term is one of the biggest search terms out there. And if you don't include, quote, movers near me in your ad copy, when you make the responsive ad, it's going to say, hey, keep using more keywords in your ad. That helps you get quality score. Please put in movers near me. But having the word movers near me, that term in an ad, it doesn't make sense. So I'm elevated to the point where I'm like, I'm going to make an ad with that hit against it where it says, hey, you should be using more keywords if some of those keywords don't make sense. And I'm going to just get to the user's intent and try to match their intent and hope that high click-through rate, high time on site, all the other relevancy signals that Google is able to see, low bounces back to Google, all relevancy signals that Google's able to see will overcome that one little thing that says you have to use the keyword, or you should use the keyword in the search term in the ad copy if the search term or keyword doesn't make sense. I think sometimes people just use copy like a robot that doesn't make sense because the system tells you to use keywords. I'm taking it to the next level. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Seems to be working well, but that's the way I'm thinking about things. And one final thing here, Chris, is once again, a focus on grouping your keywords into themes to increase relevance. And this is a theme we're kind of seeing here across our episodes as we do our research. Search ad groups, I think, have become more like display ad groups for keywords in the past, where they look at all the keywords in your ad group and they try to get to the intent of what you're trying to advertise for. And then we'll show you on a different set of searches than another advertiser targeting those same keywords, but with other keywords mixed in the ad group. Bold claim, but how can you not agree that something's going on when they're telling us so often to focus on the theme of your ad group? Do you think that's fair to focus on here in 2022?
Yeah, I think you're right. Now it's a different discussion whether I'm pleased with that. But yes, I think that's the point.
I'm more pleased with that than scagging.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I actually feel like I have a dance partner now with this artificial intelligence, this machine learning, whatever the system is. I feel like I have something I can work with. Back in the past, it was like, no, we're going to reward scags because all we can tell is keyword matches ad group, blah, blah, blah. But now it's like, no, we'll look at all the different. So, for example, Chris, I don't want to give that example because it's so confusing. But like, for example, you can have super spot on keywords in your ad group, I think. But now you can mix in some keywords that maybe not are the most spot on, but Google might show you to spot on people,
right?
If they understand your intent. Again, bold claim, but I think something like that could be happening. We have a dance partner.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's absolutely true. I mean, if you know anything about display campaigns, you know that Google looks at the theme of all of the keywords in an ad group, and they have told us explicitly in these help docs that we read and reference on this show that is absolutely something they look at. So yeah. I mean, so that's what it's saying here. It's saying, they're not telling you to make ads more relevant to keywords because that's what works better. They're telling you because that's what their system rewards. You have to consider they're giving you instructions based on how they've built it, not because this is somehow the best way to do it. No, this is how they designed it. So this is a design conversation about how the creators intended it to work rather than a way to beat the system. That's why, these help docs are really the basis of, how you make decisions and the conclusions that you come to whenever you talk about strategy and theory in Google Ads.
Yeah, we're not playing in my sandbox. We're not playing in your sandbox. We're playing in Google's sandbox, and the consistency of the sand changes constantly over time, and you have to adjust to it.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like a cat might have gotten in there when you're playing with it and, playing in the sand and left you something in the sand that you didn't.
Well, you have to consider that the cat is always leaving something in the sand. They're always making updates. They're always making changes. They're always constantly trying things out. Yeah. To such a large extent, I think we don't even realize how often our performance is being experimented with, or our performance is running up against experiments or running on X% of campaigns. I think that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And my point is sometimes they roll out this stuff. Maybe it's not ready for prime time. They get more data, they adjust, and then all of a sudden themed ad groups start to get rewarded, and it makes sense. So constant change is a theme there, Chris. But overall, how to make your ads more relevant to the keywords, I would say yes, a little bit still focus on using search term words, search term phrases in the ad copy when possible, when it really makes sense, and focus on that, yes. But also really think about the way you're crafting your ad groups, and think about if they make sense to a computer that's maybe not as smart as a human, maybe smarter, we don't even know. But think about the computer, the AI, looking at your ad group and trying to determine what the theme, who you're trying to get in front of, where they are in the funnel, as the great Chris Schaefer likes to say.